I want to thank all Strange Darkness radio listeners. We have some amazing news to share with you all. We are thrilled to announce that we have been selected as finalists for the Best UFO Podcast at the Parapod Festival. We couldn't have achieved this without your continued support and love for the show. A huge thank you to each and every one of you for tuning in and being a part of our community. We want to give a special shout out to our hosts, Bobbie Washington, Tony Carr, and Frankie Franks, for their incredible work in bringing you the latest and greatest in UFO news and stories. So, keep tuning into Strange Darkness Radio for more exciting updates, and remember, if you have a story to share, we want to hear from you. Thanks again for listening, and stay curious.
Here's Bobbie Washington and Tony Carr.
So, this is, thanks for getting in contact with us, about what's going on. So what's happening in your situation?
Okay. I don't know where to start. Okay. I think it's following either me or my daughter.
Uh-huh.
So a long time ago, I lived in a house in North Highlands with my in-laws, and their other son he was like into devil worshiping, and he opened the four gates of hell, is what he said, in one of the rooms. And when my oldest daughter was younger, I remember her she would like go into that room, and when it was time for her to walk out, she would stop and look up and start screaming her head off. And we used to see stuff like fly off the table, my mother-in-law, she used to cut coupons and stuff, and she'd stick them in a Ziploc bag. Mm-hmm. And we'd all just be sitting there watching TV, and they would fly off, and then coupons would be flying in the air. And so, it started like way back when, but then we moved out here into the Natomas area. And it's kind of weird. It has two houses on the property.
Okay.
And in the main house is my daughter's father, and in the back house used to be his best friend. Now he had a stroke and passed away.
Oh wow!
And so when he passed away, later on that night when it happened, his girlfriend and I were in that room or the back house, and it was totally quiet. And I put a recorder in there, and I recorded a whole bunch of talking. And it was me and her, we were just talking low, but then when I played the audio back, it was of his voice. I have it right here though.
Wow. Okay. That's crazy.
I can probably play it for you.
Oh yeah.
But it was like 2 hours. It was like 2 hours of recording. So what I did is I cut the parts out where I heard something in the background.
Exactly.
And then I pasted it together, so it's one shorter audio, so I didn't have to search for it every single time.
Oh, okay.
But after that, other people who've come here, they've seen what they call the shadow man. We've had like knocking on the door and nobody there. We've had door handles jiggling, nobody there. And not too long ago, I seen like a short little figure peek its head around the corner and look at me. Mm-hmm. And then, like, as soon as I turned and looked, like, I seen it still, but it hurried up and put its head back, to where I couldn't see it. Then my kids were saying that they were seeing this dark grudge-looking figure, because we have a bathroom in a laundry room, but you have to go outside to go into the laundry room.
Yeah.
And so at nighttime, and my kids aren't scared of much because it's always dark around here. It's a big property and it's filled with trees and whatnot, but my daughters were getting to the point where they were running, to
from
get
building
to that bathroom.
to building.
Yeah, they were just scared so bad, like, oh my God, Mom, we've seen it. And they're not really scared of much, you know what I mean? Because they're used to being out here in the dark and whatnot. And they would see it. And then my oldest daughter, she moved out. And she called me and she's like, Mom, it followed me. And I was like, what followed you? She's all that thing that looks like the Grudge. And it was weird because the night before I seen it.
Yeah.
I seen it like, and it like kind of hunches down and it's like dark and ugly. And she said, I was sleeping and I was having a dream that it like waved to me. And she goes, and when I looked at it waving at me, all of a sudden she's all, I couldn't breathe. I was gasping for air, I guess, in my sleep is what her fiance told her. And she said she couldn't get up. But then when she did finally was able to sit up, she said it was staring at her in her doorway.
Wow.
And she just freaked out. And like, there's just so much stuff that goes on here. It's crazy.
And this is at her house, and it's the same entity.
That one was at her house.
Yeah, that she was seeing at your house.
Correct.
Okay.
And the devil worshipping was at this current house right now, or the one?
No. It was at my ex-in-laws.
Oh, okay.
That's interesting.
So yeah.
What was he into? Do you know? Was it like?
I had no clue. I didn't even want to ask or bring it up because I was just like, ugh, because we had so much stuff happen like over at that house. That's one of the main reasons I moved from there. Is there was just too much going on over there, and I had some paranormal people come out, but that only seemed to make it a little bit worse.
Yeah, because they were probably doing provoking and all that stuff. Did you get your house saged or anything?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and that didn't help at all?
No. Someone said that you have to actually cast them out before you sage because you can actually trap them in if you sage.
Yeah, that's
without casting them out. And I don't think anyone casted anything out. I think it was just saged and left alone.
How often do you experience things at your house right now?
Okay, it's to the point where like I don't even like being alone anymore. And I'm 41, so I mean, and I'm not scared of much because I've seen almost everything. But like, we've had so much crazy stuff happen, and I mean, stuff flying everywhere. But I currently stay in the back house.
Okay.
And me and my husband separated, and so he's not here no more.
Okay.
So I refused to go back in that house. So I got a trailer and brought it here to the property because I don't like that house. There's something wrong with it.
Oh, wow.
So and like I had pictures, like weird pictures, like it's just I have crazy stuff. It's just
it really sounds
like I have video,
like an attachment.
Yeah, I think so, and it probably could be to me like after I left the house out in North Highlands and my mom passed away. I was doing like almost trying to not communicate, but just where you have the radio that scans like a ghost box almost.
Yes.
Yeah, like white noise.
Well, no, it's pulling different signals, and then it'll catch if the entity is trying to speak. It'll use the radio to say those particular words as it scans through the radio frequencies.
Yeah, it's almost like an audio Ouija board.
Yeah. So when I did that, I actually heard my mom.
Oh wow, you heard?
And I heard her voice.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard her voice, and she called my name, and I had it recorded. But she called my name, and then she goes, I said, Mom, do you know you died? And she goes, died? I said, yeah, Mom, you died. She goes, oh my God. And then I lost her.
Wow.
That's nuts.
Yeah, so it was crazy. And like I was so, at that time, I think I was so obsessed with trying to then let my mom know that she passed and it's okay. That I think maybe I was probably like conjuring him almost, you know what I mean? Even more so because more activity started happening.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say, because you're actually, looking into it and searching it out or whatever. Then so it's, it's using you as energy to, manifest or whatever, whether you're using I forgot the name of that box or whatever where you're Yeah.
It's like a ghost box.
Yeah,
a spirit box.
Spirit box, exactly. And you're using that or whatever, and so entities will gravitate, towards you, especially if there's any type of thing that's been opened already around you and you're a part of that. It's just like a vessel. That's, it's like what was it your husband or ex-husband was into? Who's the one that opened the dark portal? That was.
It was my ex-husband's, my ex-husband's brother, not him, but my ex. Yeah. And then he moved out and left us there with it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. So when he opened that, something attached to you and was coming through that, and then it allowed everything, under the sun to probably manifest. And and then it saw that you were curious, or it was getting a reaction out of scaring people, different entities. And then when a person is focusing in on that, like, oh, okay, let me see what's going on, let me try to make contact, and then it kind of like leeches on in that situation. So that's probably what's happening, especially to hear your mom, because here's the thing too. Even though, it's like something knowing your deep, dark secrets. Yeah, I can. To where
it can probably change its voice to sound like my mother.
Yeah. Exactly.
They can mimic.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So, go ahead.
I realized that, and someone told me I shouldn't be doing that because I'm only, allowing them in.
Yeah.
And so, freaking.
Yeah, it's like a catch-22, because again, at the end of the day, it's like, the reason why we do the show is to find out, what's really going on out there, and then seeing if people are having, some of the same type of experiences and seeing and meeting some of the same type of entities that are out there. But so
I have video. Mm-hmm. I have video, and I have the audio right here. You could probably hear it if you wanted to. But
yeah, go for it. Go for it. Let's see.
Okay, so let me explain this.
Okay.
Like I said, this is when I cut each clip out and put them right back to back. So you'll hear them right almost back to back.
Okay.
But it's just me and this other lady in this quiet room and talking. And then you'll hear knocking, which we never heard at the time. We never heard no kind. It was always quiet, like real quiet, because it was like 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
When we were talking. And then also, I played this for my daughter's dad, and he said, "Oh my God, those are all the things he used to say." Like you'll hear, he says, "Listen to me, stupid." he goes, "Janet, you know who this is?" And then you'll hear knocking, and then it sounds like a broom falls, and you'll hear, "Oops."
Okay.
Okay. Wow. You'll hear a couple other things, like he says, right in his neck. But okay, so I'm gonna play it.
Okay.
I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, I think he knew and he kind of prepared himself. And cat. Owen's my favorite. I don't know. It's pretty badass. That wood, too. That's a stone, too. This will help you walk, or it'll sure help you beat someone. Yeah.
Me. You couldn't brush him off. I don't remember how.
Yeah.
There he goes. Yeah. Look, he just drew. His drool just drips. Oh God! Look how wet his chin is.
Yeah. Fuck, I have.
I'm sure they gave him stuff.
Wasn't that those? Oh yeah, it was.
It says "save me from good" at the end. I don't even know what to think of that. I'm like, I don't know. It's just weird. But those little tapping and knocking noises, we never heard none of that.
So, have you ever, had your house blessed or anything like that, or, has a brother?
Yeah, I have.
And that didn't work at all. Nothing changed.
No, nothing changed.
Yeah.
It slowed down for a while. Like it's not as active as it used to be, but like, I don't know. It's still really creeps me out now. Like, and I'm not afraid of much. Like, I mean, I can usually handle any kind of, weirdness going on.
Yeah.
But this is just, sometimes it's just too much.
Yeah, there's something definitely dark that you guys have right now.
Oh yeah, and see, I used to have a lot of people over here, and we'd play dice, so we'd kind of gamble. And some people believe that gambling is the root of evil or whatnot, but I don't know if that had anything to do with it. But
no, I would have had a lot of lost souls at my poker games because if you lost, you were eating habaneros, and so. But no, I don't think that would be it. I think him, the devil worshiping portion of that, and him trying to conjure up a spirit or something, powerful to bring it, into reality. I think that is what, occurred and probably happened.
Yeah. And also, like, my friends that would come over here, like, my house is way in the back, and they would run from the gate to my house.
Wow.
Because they would be afraid to walk, through the yard to get to my house.
Is and it that they're I had something like, why is that? Like, why would they run? Like,
well, my one friend, she said that because right when you walk in, there's bamboo everywhere, right?
Okay.
And there's a little circle area that's kind of cleared out that you have to pass. It has bamboo, but in the middle of it, it's clear. And she said she looked and she seen something very tall, very dark, and it had red eyes, and it was staring at her. And she said she's seen the figure perfectly.
Yeah.
And she said all you see is black, and just black all the way down. And she says it kind of looked like it was hovering off the ground. Like she said she didn't see no feet or anything, but she looked at it, and it took her a minute, she said, to process it. And then she just jammed for my house. And she came in like, and she wouldn't go outside. She wouldn't leave until morning.
Yeah. Wow.
That's how freaked out she was. And then another friend of mine said that something followed him home because when he went to sleep, he said that it felt like something was sitting on his chest, holding him down.
Yeah.
And he was freaking out, and he was like, "I'm never going to your house again." Like, that's how bad it was. And my friend Joe, he left a comment on one of the other posts I posted for paranormal, and he was like, "I've been there, and I've seen, some stuff," because he's seen a lot of stuff too, and we both had some crazy experiences together.
Yeah,
it was bad.
Did you guys find out he was into devil worshiping before he passed away or after he passed away?
No, he's not the one that was devil worshiping. So the one out the house in North Highlands, that was my husband at the time. It was his brother, and that was at that house in North Highlands. This house out here was my daughter's dad, who lives here currently in the front house.
That it.
It was his best friend who lived in the back house, and me and him didn't really get along.
Yeah.
And so, but the night that he died, me and his girlfriend sat in there, and we just, we just talked.
Yeah.
And then and I put that recorder in there.
My girlfriend, her uncle is into that type of stuff, but it's more for control over the women he dates. And one time, a candle it melted, but when it melt, you can see like a devilish face in the middle of the candle. It was weird. The picture was sent out and everything. It was just the weirdest thing ever.
So it is, yeah, that's really odd. So is the brother still alive? Is he still around?
Yeah, he moved out to some other place. I don't really talk to them.
Yeah, I'm saying because sometimes a person who's opened the portal is the one that has to close it, but then there are other times, and most often, that a demonologist has to come in and then try to, try to close it. And again, that's just so you don't have, the entities and the things that are happen. But in my family, I know there's, like my mom and different relatives, that something has always followed them. It's just something, from place to place. We're talking about decades over decades. and it's just something that they unfortunately know they have to live with, and it's always, in the back of their mind, and they tamp it down, enough to where it's not going, out of control and everything else, like the flying dishes and all that stuff, because that's, happened at my house, numerous times. But as time went on, they were able to control it in the sense of, get it under control, or get it to subside, to a degree. So
it's kind of subsided. It was like there was a point where everything was really, really active, and we were just like on edge all the time. Yeah. But then it slowed down a little bit, but not too much.
Quick question: do you, when these things are happening, like when you have a lot of activity, did you guys smell like anything, or felt the presence?
Oh, I have. I've smelled my mom's perfume. We smelled like burnt rubber. We smelled. How
about sulfur?
We smelled some other. Yeah, we smelled sulfur a lot.
Yeah, that's demonic, boy.
Yeah.
That's straight up demonic.
Oh, and so one time I had left a recorder on in we call it the sunroom. It's more like a garage, but I left a recorder in there. Me and my friend were sitting here listening to it, and all you hear is the most devilish laugh.
Wow.
And the sound like you hear on TV of a devil when he laughs, like ha ha ha, like that. We heard that, and when my friend heard that, she smacked the recorder out of my hand, and it hit the ground and like burst.
Oh wow!
So you don't have
that gives
audio?
Me chills right now. Actually, that gives me chills really bad, because I remember that, and I was like, we just looked at each other and we ran. It was so creepy, but it was the longest laugh ever. Like, and in the middle of like, we look at each other, and she just smacks my hand, and it flies and bursts.
Yeah. So
that was crazy.
So, but like you said, it has slowed down to a degree.
So far.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's still a lot of stuff happened, like this, me seeing the kid peek around the corner, and my kid seeing the Grudge, and like all stuff keeps flying off the walls. That happened like not even a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. But it's to the point where like my kids are kind of used to it now, and I'm kind of used to it, but I still want to go stay in that room by myself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, we would definitely love to see that video footage, and maybe someone out there, can give you a hand, try to, get it under control, even though it's slowed down, just as much as it's slowed down, it can pick up that much faster, I know. It's the right person that comes through with the energy that it needs. And, do you ever have an issue with like electronic devices, batteries that are running out, don't last as long and all that stuff?
Yep. All the time. And then lights turning on and off, and then a light turned on that wasn't even plugged in, and we're like, what in the heck? It's just stupid.
Yeah.
Like,
do you often have bad dreams?
We know, we see you, like we know you're here. It's like, I know you're trying to get my attention, but I don't know what it wants.
Mm-hmm. Do you often have bad dreams, like really bad dreams, like demonic dreams?
My daughter does. My youngest daughter does. Mm-hmm. She does all the time. She wakes up and crying, but I don't know. Like my oldest daughter does still. But every time she dreams about something, it's always that grudge looking thing attacking her.
Wow. Yeah, that's trying to get that. Those are the things, whatever, we need to, stamp out as far as, the kids, having them, be attacked, or, seeing things that they can't explain that looks horrific, and seeing that character, I can imagine that would scare the crap out of me.
And I've seen it. I know what they're talking. And it's weird because my kids described it to a T, and it's exactly what I've seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean. So
I know they're not paranoid. I know they're not making it up, because I didn't even tell them what I seen, and they described it.
Yeah, because and again, it's not staying in one house. If your daughter moved away and it followed, and then, you know, it's going back and forth. So yeah, there's something to that, to find out what it is, because sometimes also though, this person who was into black magic and, you know, trying to you know, pierce the veil on the other side,
he's a holy man now though.
Wow, that's always the case.
Yeah, he turned to God.
Yeah, well, he needs to come back and help you with that.
He left you hanging.
Exactly, to fix that. But did he leave any items? Because a lot of times things can, you know, gravitate and latch onto items that are in the house or on the property, and you're just not aware of, and that's what the anchor is, you know?
Well, see, my ex's brother has nothing to do with this house over here. Mm-hmm. There's no kind of connection. So
no kind of connection,
anything
no items, no, you know.
No, okay. No, not at all, because this is my other daughter's father is over here.
Okay.
So he was from, oh God, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago.
Got it.
Was the guy who opened the gates of hell. It's probably even longer than that.
Yeah.
So he did that a while ago, and I don't know, it's just, I don't talk to him, and I don't care to.
Yeah.
I wonder if there was some type of curse that was unleashed on you guys, or on you.
I think,
and everybody else.
How
that
I
come
feel,
below.
I feel like it was something in that house, and it latched onto my daughter because she was more afraid. She was a baby, and I think maybe because it feeds off that fear or whatnot, but it would scare her so bad, like she would scream bloody murder. I've never seen a kid scream like this.
Yeah.
And she would scream bloody murder and stare up at the ceiling, and her hands would be shaking. And I think maybe it latched onto her. That's why it's still following her around. And I think when we moved here, it came with her. But I think maybe one of that one let in other ones, because we've seen all different types of things. Like my friend's seen a tall one. I've seen a little kid one peeking around the corner. I've seen the grudge looking thing. I think there's more than just one.
Yeah.
And I think there's that one that attached to my daughter that's still with her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but also, have you, you know, do you ever have, you know, to where you feel them? Because sometimes, you know, one of you guys in that house, meaning your daughter or yourself or, you know, one of the kids can, you know, have, you know, be, you know, psychic. You can have the abilities to bring and, you know, those people are trying to seek you out to help, to ask questions. Like you were saying, it was, you know,
like a medium?
Yes. Yeah, a medium in the sense of you're not practicing and you don't know you have that ability, but they know you have that ability. So they're trying to, you know, contact you to talk to their loved one or to say their last words or something they always wanted to say. And they're, you know, constantly coming through to make that happen, but you don't know how to do it.
Not paying attention to it?
Yeah, not that you're not paying attention to it. You don't know how to, you or your daughter didn't hone those skills to be able to, you know, to have that conversation with them, but they just know because again, there are some people that have that ability to where ghosts will latch on to them because they're trying to communicate. Go ahead.
Honestly, I think it would probably be me, because I remember like one time I was laying down in bed and I heard clear as day, like somebody right in my ear say my name. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what in the heck? And then later on, I felt something like touch my foot. Like I thought it was a real person touch my foot.
Yeah.
So I think maybe because I can sense sometimes when something feels eerie, or like I pick up on that. I pay attention to that.
Yeah.
And it could be also my oldest daughter though too, because she'll go, ooh, you know, it feels creepy in here or something, or she gets a vibe or something and she pays attention to it. So it could be me or my daughter, or maybe even both.
Could be both or whatever, because, you know, the mom passes it down, because women seem to have that intuitiveness or whatever, and they pass it down to their daughters. And again, you guys just never, hone the skill, or your mom, never like, oh, well, great grandma had this particular ability, and then they want to push it aside, like, no, don't ever bring that up. And then you go through life thinking everything is honky dory. And as you walk through life, you got 10 to 12 ghosts following you every day.
Right.
And so that's a possibility, because again, we correlate things, what happened, of him, opening portals and trying to talk to the other side. But then there's also times where, okay, well, he opened that portal up, but they didn't even notice him. They walked straight to you. You know what I'm saying? So it could be something like that. And the only reason why I say, because it's constantly following you, constantly, in your family's life, whether it's your daughter's or yours. And then again, sometimes things are used as watchers or warnings. So when people come over, like for every regular friend that, oh, I saw this in your yard and this thing creeped me out. How many people did it deter from, doing you harm, or, other things, whatever that, could have been there, so it's all, relative to try to understand like what's actually going on, what they're actually doing, and it's all, again, just questions and things. Have you ever messed around with like the Ouija board or try to communicate through any type of...
No.
Okay.
No. My grandma told me at a very young age, don't you ever even think about touching one of those, because she had an experience and she said, no.
Yeah.
I know better.
Yeah.
Yes, I know better. But what's crazy is not too long ago, somebody hit me up, I guess. I'm not going to say where from, but let's just say like a certain kind of club.
Okay.
And they wanted me to say a phrase that was hail somebody, and I was like, I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Please. It was something I had to say in order to pretty much pledge my allegiance to this club.
Okay.
And I refused.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a lot of sick stuff out there.
Oh no, for sure.
I think and I think from a young age, I was always like into paranormal stuff, because I've had so many experiences even as a kid. Like, I mean, me and my mom had an experience that like changed my life. That's what got me into believing into anything paranormal.
Yeah.
And we used to stay in a haunted house when I was little. My friend's grandma died in that house, and we just seen some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So from a young age, I think I've been kind of into it. I know about it.
I think it's been more into you than you've been into it. So that, because that's the thing. Yeah, exactly. When you go back and you think and you talk about this, and it's an experience that's always been in your life. You know what I'm saying? That's something, as kids, and again, I don't know if you remember all your childhood, because I don't know everybody who does, from the ages of, 2 to 7, 8, and 10, and so on and so forth. But there are things that go on in a child's life that as a parent, you're like, no, don't talk to that. That's not an imaginary friend. Don't do this, don't do that. And you're told that over and over, and you start to shut things out and shut things down, and doesn't stop the ghost from living in that house or moving that object or whatever. But it stops you from opening up to all these different possibilities, to have these experiences in a way that is maybe communicative to the entity or to the ghost. Again, because, are these dead people? Are these, because we don't know what they are. But like you said, hearing your mom's voice will definitely say, you automatically say that 100%. That is, my mom, that was my mom, because I heard her voice. And she
called my name.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah, but my mom, as you were saying that, I was thinking, my childhood, and my mom, she was a bad alcoholic, but when she'd get drunk, she used to try to scare us or something and tell us that she knew witchcraft. And I remember her writing my brother's name on a piece of paper, and she had the whole room dark, and she had one candle lit, and then she was like, she said some weird stuff, and then put the piece of paper with my brother's name over the fire, and it caught fire and it flew up and was crawling on the ceiling, and I was like, what in the hell is she doing that for,
Yeah.
And like 2 days later, my brother got walking pneumonia and was hospitalized.
Oh, wow.
And and so that I don't know why that just shot in my head as you were saying that, but I don't know if, like, maybe it's my mom. Like, maybe it's been attached to me since I was a kid.
Here's the thing.
Now that I'm thinking about it.
There's a couple of people that will tell you the truth. Youth, meaning children, maybe a priest or someone of the cloth, and drunk people.
Yes.
They will tell you the truth. And what, a person is trying to shut out, usually, when they're intoxicated, those things come out. And whether it's, just things that, she was taught or told. And because, again, taught and told is one thing, but actually practicing, that's a whole nother thing. That means she probably knew a lot more than what you thought or whatever, because you can want to do something, but to know how to do it and then have an effect on something, that's a whole nother thing. You know what I'm saying? So, so it's possible that's, because again, in my mom is Creole. And she's from Louisiana, and so that's where all that stuff runs into, as far as the things that through our ancestry that go back to different scenarios, and that may follow our lineage or line, and why we've had all kind of different experiences. So it could be your fate to have that, and a lot of people who have these experiences for the length of time that you have, they actually start to see mediums and psychics to learn how to communicate and to learn how to, just try to peer, into the other side or whatever, just to be able to calm things down and say, you know what, not today, and be able to say, okay, you have your time, you got your little energy from me or whatever, but, you need to stop. And then all that stuff they're able to control it, better. So that's something you might want to think about also, whatever, because it's possible that this is just something that runs in your family.
Have you ever witnessed something you couldn't explain or felt you couldn't tell anyone about? Now is the time to tell your story on Strange Darkness Radio Hotline 916-741-3032.
Oh, it could be. My mom was adopted, so I don't know much further than my mom.
There's nothing better than Ancestry.com, which Tony does not believe in.
You also got to think about the sulfur smell, too. The sulfur smell don't just come out of, nowhere.
Oh, no, for sure.
So I do think it could be partial ghost and also...
I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah,
I think maybe it's good and bad.
Yeah.
But I think... honestly, because some things I get a weary feeling of, and some things it's just like it's okay. It's just it's all right.
Exactly. Because again, just like regular humans, there are mean spirits, mean people, have passed away, or mean entities that are out there. But then there are also, because again, it just goes. A lot of it also too falls into what you believe. If you believe staunch into the Bible, then you're gonna have those separation of lines between good and evil, angel and devil. But then if you're the type of person who, more of the Buddhist type or whatever, you'd be like, well, there's, the yin and the yang, the bad and the good energy and all these different things, that run in the middle. But just like there's bad people or pissed off people, there are the same thing on the other side. As far as the dude is nice, but he's stuck in his ways. And he's dead, but it plays out every day. Every day he walks into the house, slams the door, sits on the couch, and curses at his wife and grabs a beer. So what you hear is a knock, something moves in the living room, and then, you hear like a faint noise of something, and that's just something that's being played out, all the time. And your mind just doesn't catch it. Oh, it's happening every time at 4 p.m., at this particular time, because this tape is running, off of how this person lived their life or whatever. And they had that energy is still there, and it's just playing out. But along with that, you have the other side to where, something's trying to communicate with you. So there's all these veils or whatever that go on, and it's good that you're actually paying attention to see, what those things are. Because as far as a friend that had the person on their chest when they were sleeping, a lot of people would say, oh, that's sleep paralysis. That's automatic or whatever, because that's called the
I've had sleep paralysis before.
Yeah, but most people will say that's the old hag syndrome. Not with the grudge lady, but with the guy with somebody feeling like the pressure on your chest and all that. But it doesn't happen the same for everybody. And I think it goes beyond that. I think there's more to that, than just sleep paralysis, by far. Because I saw some creepy stuff, whatever, and it was not sleep paralysis. I think it's an ability that you have that's running through your family, that these ghosts are being able to, interact with you. And, it's just something, because again, for the length of time, that's more than a coincidence, that, you've had this happen, even before he tried to, open up a portal and all that stuff, whatever. This has been, things have gone on, for a long period of time.
I just wonder, what's his reasoning? I know you don't know, but I'm just wondering, why would you do that?
Probably power.
What?
People do it for power.
He was into that. That was just his. He was all into heavy metal and the devil and whatnot. But he changed his ways, apparently.
I could imagine that him doing that, he probably experienced a lot of shit too. Playing with that dark magic.
Yeah, he moved out of that house and then went to God. So. Well,
then they attached themselves to you, and they left his ass alone.
I know, right? I got the butt of it. That sucks.
Yeah, exactly. You might have to be a recurring paranormal guest host.
I want to go on I actually want to go on an investigation.
You are your own investigation. What are you talking about?
I know, right?
Let's just camp out at your house.
I'm gonna check out somebody else's house.
Yeah, that's true. Downtown is really good. Old Sacramento, they say, in the tunnels there, people pick up EVPs, the mining tunnels and all that stuff on the tour. All right, well, yes, we'll keep in touch, Bobbie. Thanks again, for sure.
Thank you.
It was fun. Thank you very much for calling in.
Not a problem. You guys have a good night.
You too. Bye.
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 You can listen to Strange Darkness Radio on iTunes or Spotify or any of your podcast hosting sites.
I am Buzz Aldrin, and I was the lunar module pilot on Apollo 11.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth. No single space project in this period will be more impressive to mankind or more important for the long-range exploration of space, and none will be so difficult or expensive to accomplish.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
The truth is that we've never proved one, but there are things flying around up there that we haven't fully identified yet. And keep in mind, there are basically 1 billion galaxies in an ever-expanding universe. I mean, you can't even get your mind around the sheer number of things that are out there.
People still take seriously trying to investigate and figure out what that is. There's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are. We can't explain how they moved, their trajectory. They did not have an easily explainable pattern. When it comes to aliens, there's some things I just can't tell you.